Okay, so last time we got to the Imperial Air Force. So last time we got to the Imperial Air Force. I gave it a few runs. I don't remember how many times. Um, I think the farthest we got was the fifth round. Um, and we only did that once. I think we were dying in the third round most of the time, sometimes even earlier than that. So we weren't having a whole lot of good fortune. Um, I'm going to do a couple of Joker Doom sets before I get on the airship here. I still don't feel like I'm anywhere near where my expectation would be for Joker Doom. And the last fight of this segment requires a Joker Doom, and I don't have any interest in, I am not gonna be on here. That's not happening. I'll go back up here. I just don't have any interest in listening to the bongo beat. And I don't have... Actually, I should go to Zozo. I like the music in Zozo. Alright. See, the problem is I don't have an issue with see, okay. So I don't really have I think if I go into it with the idea of I have to get Joker Doom, I can't fail. I think I can have... I mean, you can never guarantee anything, but I can feel confident that if I don't restrict myself to how many reels pass and I just go for the Joker Doom itself, I'm not really concerned about that. I'm pretty confident I can get a Joker Doom when I need a Joker Doom. The issue is that this particular Joker Doom is... it's one that I have to get on the first try, and I have a limited amount of time. The monster is capable of ruining me if it uses the wrong attack.
According to Google Books, 18-year-old Jay Stevenson is living a horrible nightmare.
What the hell?
2 years ago, she had the world in the palm of her hand, but in one moment, it was ruined.
Well, that's interesting. So, where was I? Oh yeah, he can do one move that will just wreck me. So, it's really important that I get that Joker Doom on the first try, and I would like oh man, let's try it. Okay. I'd like to do that. I'd like to be able to do what I just did there. That's every reel on the first turnaround. I would like to, that's where that's the expectation that I hold for myself, is that if it's a jam, that I need to be able to execute that what I just did right there. And I'm not there right now. I just don't feel confident that I can execute that on command. If anybody's ever played Street Fighter or Street Fighter 2 Turbo or Street Fighter 2, some of the older SNES Street Fighter copies, and you're familiar with that game, Ken and Ryu do a move called the Dragon Punch, and for Ken in particular, because his Dragon Punch has a little bit more of an arc to it, it's pretty much let me focus here. See, now here's where I am here. I can't get past this. I can't pause. I can't unpause, pause again, and still give myself a good percentage chance of getting that 7 coming up, okay? So the best thing I can do is unpause and then wait a fraction of a moment before I press the select, well, I guess it would be the A button on this controller, but the button, the activate button, whatever you want to call it. I can manually adjust and compensate for this time difference, but that's something that has a pretty strong feel to it. And I don't know if I got lucky there or if my feel was on target. And then I missed the third reel. I'd almost like to be able to do that perfect 3 times in a row. Without missing a single reel. Like I said before, that's the expectation. And if I can do that, then if I fail against this guy, it gives me the best odds I can get of it not being my fault. Sometimes you get wrecked. See, I didn't get that one there. See, this is another one where I can try and manually do it. It worked. I kind of think I can maybe do that. I'd rather not do that in a critical situation. That's asking for trouble to try and space that out. That's the kind of stuff that you more have to do with some reverse Joker Doom stuff, because the timing is different based on what monsters you're fighting. So reverse Joker Doom reacts totally different than Joker Doom. It's a completely different thing. The end result is similar, but there's a lot more stuff going on, and so like certain bosses, I can think of a few bosses just right off the top of my head that all have different timing for it. So you have to wait or go faster to get your real, well, not only to get your reels, but actually the reels don't play that much different. It's the sequencing. So there's not a whole lot in the way of timing with just regular Joker Doom, other than timing the reels, right? Well, if you get to the spot where you're, kind of expecting to have to win using reverse Joker Doom, getting the reels is something that is kind of an expectation. You should have, if you get to that spot, you've kind of moved on. You graduated to a different skill set. Having, I don't know if I want to say mastered, but definitely having familiarized yourself thoroughly with the reels and locking them into the 7 slots. You're gonna kind of, it's gonna be a lot more difficult for a person to get any kind of consistent success with reverse Joker Doom if they can't lock those reels in. I mean, that's you need to be locking the reels in before you start trying to do reverse Joker Doom, because if you're struggling to do that, you're kind of, I don't want to say you're wasting your time, because I wouldn't want to discourage anybody. It's all about, what you put, how much effort you put into it. And some people, they're going to have to put less effort because they just have more, they're just naturally gifted, or they have more experience in, doing similar activities, so it's an easier learn for them. Some people, this can be a real challenge. If you're struggling with, getting Joker Doom to land consistently, getting the reels to be in your favor consistently. Maybe I should not be on Intangier Island here. Maybe, I usually am though, or over down by Thamasa. I wonder if where you start off from the map has any bearing on any of this stuff. Like, and how could anyone really know that without trial and error and enough empirical data to say, hey, I can say I believe this with a high level of confidence to be true. Let's try here. These are like the earliest level monsters in the game, so if monster difficulty, and the monsters there on Intangier Island are pretty easy. They're like these guys and stuff, right? So they're not really a problem. What am I doing here? What the hell am I doing? Alright, yeah, that's what I'm doing. We're going to try to find the floating continent, having departed from Narshi, basically. And we're going to see if, there would be really no way to know unless you had a large enough sample size to say, I have data that would indicate that where you start off from has an impact on the way this goes. But I just don't have any kind of sample to do anything. What am I doing? I'm not even thinking here. Yeah, that absolute zero. It's a real... It's very humbling. Let's put it that way. If you're feeling confident that you've got the upper hand going up against this game here, regardless of your situation. This is a prime example of a task that can humble you pretty quickly. I mean, executing. Oh, really, dude? You know what? I'm gonna try. I probably won't make it back, but I'm gonna try. This is the kind of thing that, you know, somehow, some way, against all odds, didn't I already? I thought, whatever. No, we'll keep it rolling. Absolute zero. There it is. I'm pretty sure where you take off from has no bearing on anything, and I'm also pretty sure that it's just a straight roll every turn. So the enemy rolls, and I think they have like 4 or 5 different things that they can do. One of them is absolute zero. And I'm not even sure if all of the enemies can do absolute zero, or just one of them, because I know there's two different monsters. They have, like, the sprite is not identical, but it looks very, very similar. They have a different color scheme, but they look pretty close to the same other than that. And I'm not 100% sure if both monsters are capable of using absolute zero, or if it's just the stronger one that does. I don't remember about that, but I have a suspicion that any of the Air Force is capable of using absolute zero. And, you know, if I knew, if there was like a luck factor, you know, like, I don't believe, oh, what a sack of garbage. I don't believe that, oh no, no, dude, no. You know, that's one thing, you know, quality of life stuff that has changed over the years. If you have one party member that's muted and you select like a unmute item or spell for that character, many times these days it will just auto select the player that's muted, and then you just have to enter the command. Or confirm that, you know, that is what you want to do. And so sometimes I find myself I don't know, anticipating that, I guess, without thinking. Obviously, just, well, are you guys gonna, I guess not. I kinda, because it will take him forever to kill himself. I mean, it's never going to happen, so I just figured I'd wait here, and, you know, the propeller sets her or something, because I can't attack. Well, no, I can't attack, but I can Osmo, so I need to do that yet. There's 3 of them out there. You'd think one of them would just whack Setzer quick, like, and get it over with. Yeah, okay, that's fine. There we go. What? What is that now? I guess I could kill him with ice too. And I can re-osmos. You know, it would be really nice if there was a relic that just inflicted mute on the enemy, so you went into battle with them not being able to cast magic. If they were susceptible to mute, obviously. I mean, which, I mean, in most situations, I mean, how often do you use mute? It's not something that is heavily used. Alright, there we go. Well, let's see how far we can get now. I mean, it's just, there's so many opportunities for the game to wreck you that it's just difficult. It's a difficult spot to get through. Let's try that. Wait a minute. Nah, it doesn't work. And I'm probably going to get killed here from bad luck. I was thinking that I could maybe put a piece of equipment on that would give me, that would raise my preemptive attack rate, and then I remembered that I'm pretty confident that Setzer already has that on. And one nice thing, if you have a player that, at least to my memory, this is how it is anyway, I guess it's possible I'm misremembering, but to my memory, it doesn't matter if the player is knocked out or not. If they have a relic that will give a boost, like say for example haste or something, well, that's not a good example, but here we go, okay. Like let's say like back guard, where you can't be pincer attacked. I think that's what that is. Obviously that doesn't work. Setzer has one on, and it's not doing us any good here. That's not because the relic isn't working, it's just because these battles are set up the way they are, and they won't be altered. You'll fight, it's the same battle, like, it's always the same battle. You're always being pincer attacked by these guys. And you can't avoid being pincer attacked, and you can't like get a preemptive attack on them. Otherwise, you know, we could make this a little bit easier, I guess. Well, so I don't remember if this is the second or third round here. I think after the fourth round, that's when the when you get the dialogue saying that Ultros is, you know, creeping up on you. Well, now we're gonna have to come back. Okay, then you're gonna go 2 times and get me a Sub-Zero. Or absolute zero. I may not be able to manipulate any of these things. But I do feel like, I swear, spamming that dried meat so that the screen rumbles about, I swear that makes a difference. And maybe it's nothing, maybe I'm just, it's all in my head. That's totally possible. But it does feel like in the trial and error that I've done in the past, it seemed to feel like it made a difference in a positive way. In them not opening with absolute zero. And that's the most important thing, Sometimes they are. It's likely, it's probable, I would say, that you're not going to be able to get through this segment without them getting a turn to go first at least once. But just because they get to go doesn't guarantee they're going to use absolute zero with that attack. So even if they do get to go first, you might be okay. Especially, if you're still vanished from the last round and they do physical attacks. Like, once you become vanished, like, you're hoping the whole time. You just want them to just do only physical attacks. If they only do physical attacks the whole rest of the way, you're gold. You're good to go. But they do 2 magic attacks, so that's a problem. One of them will kill the party. That's a huge problem. The other one, it's strong enough where it can cause big time problems. But still, you've got the 2 physical attacks and the 2 magic attacks. The one physical attack is Backlash, I believe, which basically is just, it doesn't do any damage, I don't think. It just mutes the party, or mutes the target. And then the other one is Propeller, which is just a hard-hitting physical attack. Now, I haven't been paying attention really as far as their if there's a pattern here. I should probably do that, So physical. Yeah, but yeah, physical. Maybe it is. Maybe they alternate between magic and physical, and maybe that is some. Well, I don't know. Maybe one of them is on a different schedule too, right? Because it's probably going to take less time to execute, like something like absolute zero, than it is for like just their simple physical attack. Like, I guess I just don't know though. That's how it works for us and our characters. You really start to notice that in the end game stuff, when you got a guy like Locke who's like stealing or just using a physical attack and he's like super fast, and then you got like someone who's more of a heavy hitter and especially like a heavy mage, like just with massive damage attacks. It'll take so much longer for that magic attack to go through, and you can't miss it really. It's pretty. I can't think of the right word right now. Like apparent, but that's not the word I'm looking for. All right, well here we go. Well, they got me. There are just so many rolls that take place. And when you're using rage to kill these guys, you can't even pick. You know, maybe I'll I mean, if it is like the Mega Rotors and they do alternate between physical attack and magic attack, I could definitely use that to my advantage. But if each new battle isn't predetermined, as far as like the first attack that will be done, if they will be magic or they will be physical, like if you can't alter that, then it's not going to do you a whole lot of good. I mean, if you could make it so that the first attack from them, their first round of attack, would always be physical attack, this would be pretty easy. And you can't really tell which one of them is attacking, I don't think. It just says their ability. So they went physical, magic, magic. And then they went physical, magic. Magic. So physical, magic, magic. And then we got magic. Magic. I think it's random. I think they roll. I think they roll to determine if it's going to be physical or if it's going to be magic. And then I think they roll again to determine which attack within each umbrella is the one that they're going to go with. So it's roll to find out if you're using magic or a physical, and then it's roll again to find out which attack of the two options it's going to use. I think that's what's going on here. And how fast they get to go versus how fast I get to go. Like, who has the initiative in the battle? Man, are they ever going to, like, wipe him out? Like, what the heck, dude? I'm just trying to think in my head, is there anything I could do that would potentially allow me to, you know, gain some... The only thing I really do is just move this to the top, which doesn't even matter, to be honest, because I have the battle speed set to wait. So when I'm in my menu right here, nothing... The ATB gauges for all things, whether it be in my team or the enemy group, all ATB gauges freeze when you go into a menu. Like, this doesn't count as a menu, but this counts as a menu, this counts as a menu, this counts as a menu. So I just don't think that there's anything I can do. Like, just like the Mega Rotors, you never knew if they were going to use magic or physical first. It was just, they rolled, and then you got whatever they rolled coming at you. So, if the rolls are not weighted and it's fair and balanced roll of 50-50 or coin flip instead of roll, if you want to call it a coin flip, then it seems to me that absolute zero is a 1 in 4. It's just that's what it is. It's a 25% chance because there's 4 attacks that they could use, and they're going to use one of them. And if it's weighted fairly, then you got a 25% chance of one of them using absolute zero. When you have 3 of them, you know, then you have 3 rolls at 25%. And that drastically increases the odds of that happening. But, yeah, just so bad luck, man. It's just so frustrating. It's like I get past the absolute zero and then bad luck. It's like the game is stuck in a loop, though. Doesn't it feel like the same as it did last night, kind of? Until I changed some stuff on the valve, then I had that one nice run. But other than that, it just feels like it's stuck in a loop to me. And I don't like the loop we're in. I just don't know. Just ruthless. And then on top of that, I don't know. These guys must be really fast. That's the only thing I can think of. Because, I mean, Gao isn't a slowpoke, and he's got running shoes on. So he's hasted. It's too bad I can't use lock, honestly. He's so fast. He is fast. Yeah, like being able to have luck or lock. That would just be such a big deal. Because he's super fast. Alright, well, let's try it. So Sky Armor and Spitfire, I think are your two different guys, and I'm slightly colorblind, so I am having a hard time telling the difference between these two guys. I think the one is a little bit more red. I don't have a real bad color blindness, but greens and reds, certain shades kind of blend together a little bit. As I look closer, I can see that there does appear to be more red in the one and more green in the other. But just looking at the image straight forward, I just have a hard time. I wonder, let's try that. Let's let Gao get all the way full ATB gauge at the end of that battle instead of just pressing a whole bunch of advanced buttons. Who knows if that makes a difference? Dude, come on, man. Like, give me a break with that. Like, Espers take longer to cast, too. Like, that's a command that has a longer time stamp to it. Than, like, say, for example, using an item. Using an item is really fast. In fact, using an item might be the fastest. And it's even possible, I don't even remember, but it seems like there's maybe like a Phoenix Down takes longer to use than, say, like a tonic or something. I don't know about that. I'm not confident that that's accurate. At least in this game. But maybe. Sometimes it sure feels like a Phoenix Down takes a while. Certain fights. Yeah. Dude, it's just and I can't even say I don't remember it taking this long before, because this spot, it's just so there's no consistency to it. Not that I found it, and maybe there is a better way to do this than what I'm doing it. It's possible. I can't think of it, but I mean, it's going to be Gao, right? So, I mean, I've got running shoes on Gao. He's as fast as he's going to be, to my knowledge. Maybe there's another relic I could put on that would increase his speed. I don't think so, though. I just don't think there's another relic that, other than sprint shoes, or not sprint shoes, running shoes. The sprint shoes wouldn't come into play here, you wouldn't think. Dude, come on, man. Just starting off with that garbage, but hey, it's not absolute zero, right? So there's something positive going on. It seems like sometimes it takes a long time for them to be able to go after they have entered a command, but it seems like their first attack, it seems like they start the battle with a pretty full ATB gauge, is what I'm saying. That sure is how it feels. It feels a lot like that. The only thing I can think of that I can do is, like, as far as status stuff or anything like that, I have to hit them with or use an Esper for, and if I'm going to use an Esper, this is the most useful Esper. At least the one that I can think of for this fight, anyway. You know, I have used Rhodox in the past. That used to be my primary for this. It would no doubt create a different input into the RNG, thereby potentially being more in my best interest, because I think it takes longer. Sometimes he doesn't use it, and then sometimes I think it'll even miss. So I think Marshall's faster. See, now it misses. That's just frustrating. Although it is kind of enjoyable being able to snare these flying machines. Snare just seems like something that, you know, should only be effective on things that are on the ground. Like, where is this, you know, this void? Where is it coming from? You know what I mean? When it's on flat ground, you see, oh, okay, so I see. There's, you know, it's a portal into the underneath the ground somewhere. But apparently, it's a portal into unknown worlds that can appear anywhere. Man, it's just so tough. Dude, give me a break! How many times does this happen now? The second or third round, and then they get to go twice, and the second one is absolute zero. The first one is tech missile, or whatever that is. Tech laser? I don't know. But I feel like we're stuck in this loop here, and I don't know what to do to break out of it. I'm gonna try... Since I've already kind of, you know, wasted so much time going down here and just creating a party that doesn't have Edgar in it to start this whole thing, maybe, you know, I can get a different set of numbers to be used to initiate anything involving these guys. I don't know how this stuff works exactly. I just know that there are sets of numbers that function very much like a combination lock for things, as far as where the game goes to access a file, you know, the pathway to get to a file and stuff like that. So like you got people that do some speedruns with this where, you know, they just go to a spot and die a bunch of times in a row, and then while they're doing it, they're basically just moving that number to a place where they can put the right number in, or the right command in at the right time, and that gives them access to the folder that has, you know, like the end game credits, right? So they just hack the game basically to get to the in-game credits. So it's not gonna work, is it? Because I'm nope. So I'm probably gone here. So anyway, I believe that's what like the world record is for speedrunning this game. It's achieved by hacking the game basically so that you can just get to the end credits. There's really no natural progression. You're just basically hacking the game. I saw that somebody did something similar to that in Elden Ring. And to be perfectly fair, Halo Infinite. So it's not just RPGs. The one in Halo Infinite, the guy... Well, first of all, there's this glitch that you can do. I've never done it, but I saw a video where somebody did it. Where there's a... I don't know anybody who's familiar with Halo Infinite or not, but... when you first exit the bowels of the ring at the very beginning of the game, you come up on an elevator, and you kind of... there's these blast doors that open up, and from there is a whole bunch of Covenant, or I don't know, whatever, what do they call themselves, the Banished. Anyway, there's a whole bunch of bad guys out there, and but where you're fighting, there's like imagine like a Star Wars Superstar Destroyer type craft that has crashed on the ring, and part of the wreckage is like a border of where you're at. Anyway, if you climb up on top of that wreckage, there is a, like, basically it's invisible, but there's a cannon. Just like, so there's the Scorpion tank in Halo, right? Everybody knows the Scorpion tank. It's the tank that you can get in and, you know, blow stuff up with. You climb up on this wreckage, and you interact in this one spot, and the game assigns you this cannon as one of your sidearms. So... so he carries that around with him the whole game. So there's that going on. But then well, some of the stuff he just navigates, you know. You can navigate some areas pretty fast with that grapple beam and stuff. Or grapple shot. Anyway, what he does, it's weird. I don't know what he's doing there, but he takes a ghost and he does some weird stuff to a jackal, and then he, like, I don't know what he's doing there, but he basically breaks the game somehow, and he's able to warp to some other place, not just geographically, but also chronologically. So the first time he does it, he just, as far as I can tell anyway, he's just going to a different place, like a different geographical place. And then he does something similar with another ghost and with another jackal. And when he does that, he advances way far, not only geographically, but chronologically as well. And so he's like at a way like advanced point in the game. Actually, I think it probably is just geographically, but then he makes a save there, and so when he loads the save, the game recognizes him as being in this place, and the only way you can get to that place is if you're at a late stage in the game chronologically. And so basically the guy skips huge chunks of the game very, very, very quickly. And so then he gets to, I don't know if you want to call it the final dungeon. I don't know if that's really a fair way to put it, but I guess kind of. I mean, Halo doesn't really have dungeons or final dungeons. It's a different kind of game, but you're pretty much towards the very end of the game there, and he does navigate that level though. He has to navigate that level. That's one of the few levels he has to actually navigate. Until he gets a little ways into the level, and then he starts doing some weird transition stuff where he like actually he's able to, there's like a crack in the world, right? You can't see it, but apparently he found it, and so what he does is he sneaks through the crack in the world, and then he's like on the outside of the world, almost like he's climbing. Like if the world were made out of boxes, and you're outside of the boxes, looking down into the boxes, only the boxes are translucent, the edges are translucent, so you're just viewing the maps from the outside. But he can grab onto the outside from the outside, and then he basically makes his way, I guess, if for lack of a better description, he's climbing a tower that you're supposed to be climbing, you're supposed to be going up the tower from the inside. He goes up the tower from the outside. Once he gets to the top, then he sneaks back through a crack in the wall, and he's inside the tower at the top now. And then he goes and fights the final boss. Primarily using that cannon when he does have to kill stuff. So I'm not taking anything away from his ability to be able to, do what he did. That was pretty fantastic. But he skips so much of the game. It's like a different. I don't know. I mean, I don't believe that you have to get every single thing in the game, but if there are. So, like, I guess in Super Metroid, it doesn't really bother me that Spore Spawn gets circumvented or just ignored, because it's not that big of a deal. It's just one enemy. Think of it as an optional boss that they found a way that, and he is optional because he's not part of the statues, right? So since he's not part of the statue, then he is an optional boss, and so there's not like they're not fighting the required bosses. The bosses that are required are the ones on the statue. If they wanted Spawn Spore to be part of that, then he would have been there. I would guess. So anyway, it doesn't bother me if you don't kill every single thing, but if you warp, I mean, it's kind of like Super Mario Brothers 3, only, instead of the warp whistles being an item that you can be rewarded with, you just found a way to tear a hole in a level that's invisible and go through the pipe that's on the other side of that hole and reappear at, level 4. Instead of going through the process, some guy figured out how to do that without, anybody knowing that there were any whistles to begin with. That's kind of the equivalent to what we're talking about here. And I mean, it's definitely a cool find, and it's super impressive. But I don't think they're, like, unlike Super Metroid, right? In Super Metroid, runners, do they do any percent in Super Metroid? I mean, they are actually going throughout the whole game and killing the maps that they're supposed to be killing, So, I mean, they have to complete most of the game, even if they don't collect every item in the game, But, you know, hacking the game so that you can um, warp to places, you know, that's got to be kind of its own separate uh, classification, right? And then how do you determine, you know, where do you draw that line, right? Like, is exploiting the vanish situation to your advantage, does that count, you know? Like, there are so many different ways of looking at this, and then who gets to be the arbiter of these things? How did they get that job? You know, there's so many different points of contention when it comes to these kinds of things. Even myself, I find myself thinking, you know, I mean, if you do a bunch of weird stuff, like, you know, you're obviously just hacking the game here type thing. Where you know, like in this game, if you die 23 times here, then when you wake up, you'll, you know, be at Figaro Castle in the World of Ruin. Now, I don't know what I don't think that's the thing that they do, but that would be the equivalent of it. I mean, what are you really doing there? You're showing off your ability to hack a game, you know, to go into the code and manipulate it so that you can, you know, access the box that has the ending credits without actually playing the game. So, I mean, it's in my opinion, that should be its own classification, its own category. Because it's just not the same thing as making your way through the game. But I don't know what I don't know if there is a consensus on these things, and if there is, what it is. I don't know that much about the speedrunning community. When I just play challenges, right? And sometimes speed is a factor in the challenges that I play or create for myself. So I guess I'm not really, I guess, up on all of the rules and regulations and expectations and all of these things when it comes to this universe here. I mean, I think it would be probably best to have multiple categories, you know, where, you know, I mean, see, that's the kind of stuff when, you know, when maybe you win this, that's the kind of stuff that happens, you know. They get to go first, but they chose Propeller and you're vanished still from the previous round. So now everything is all good. You can't be hit. You just put your commands in and you're one round closer to your goal. Because some good luck moved your way. And maybe, you know, you can get more good luck and make your way to the final, to Air Fortress, and then hopefully win on your first try against that guy, because losing that battle is just so soul-crushing. You know, to be perfectly honest, I don't know that I would begrudge a person for even using save states on a thing like this. Um, that's not something I have interest in doing, but I mean, I wouldn't blame a person for using save states. Not one little tiny bit. Yeah, we're gone. I mean, you finally get to. I mean, we haven't even. Well, yeah, we haven't even got to the boss yet. Not once. I don't even. I haven't. I don't think I've even got to the fifth round so far today. I think the farthest I got was the third or the fourth round. I've tried a whole bunch of different things to try and maybe possibly um, change the odds in my favor for any of this stuff, but I honestly think it's just random. I think you just have rolls, and sometimes you get lucky in life, and sometimes you don't. And this is one of those segments here that, unfortunately, you just don't have that much control over. The only thing you can do is execute. And it's not that challenging to simply make sure that you go magic, siren, as fast as you can. That's not that hard. But executing isn't going to get me wins necessarily in that situation, and that sucks. Because it doesn't matter how well you are executing your game plan. That's just a really that's a discouraging type of thing, that if you have to endure it, over and over and over, it gets so disheartening, so discouraging, because you have so little control over whether or not you have success. So, Osmos. I don't rasp Osmos anybody to death. I'm not saying I've never used that before, but I don't use that on this particular run. If I Osmos, it's because I am looking to fill my magic back up. And there are a few places where I do use that for that purpose. But that's pretty much where we're at with the Osmos. I don't think I learned Rasp. I don't remember. But it's something that takes a really long time. And it's super, super slow process. It's so slow. It can take, it's just, no. I'd rather not. And fortunately, there isn't any formation that I have to beat that Rasp Osmos is my only option. Because that would be unfortunate if that were the case. If somebody that is watching this is not familiar with Rasp Osmos, what that is just what it is. It's using the spell Rasp and using the spell Osmos in succession. So what you're doing is you're using your magic to cast Osmos to gain health back, or to gain your magic back, and you're using Rasp to lower the enemy's magic pool. And so you're basically always draining the magic from the enemy or replenishing your magic. One of the two is what you're doing. And over time, you take away all the magic that the enemy has, and then once you've depleted their magic, then you can go ahead and try and whittle their hit points down. And the reason that you would use Rasp Osmos on an enemy would be because as the battle wears on, the enemy starts using increasingly more powerful attacks. And if you can, say, for example, withstand the attack or the attacks that they're doing early in the battle, but you can't take the late rounds of that battle, one way to get around that is to deplete their magic pool before you start your offensive, before you start depleting their hit point pool. That way, when they go to try and start using their strong magic attacks in the late rounds of the battle, excuse me, ugh. That way, when they start using those those heavy attacks in the late rounds of the battle, they just won't have any magic and they won't be able to cast those attacks. And then that way, you know, since you could take the punch early, then you can continue taking the punch late as you slowly whittle down their health one sliver at a time. So that's one way to beat some enemies in like low level type situations, where you just you don't have the hit points necessary to withstand the hit that the game designers put into these enemies. That's a back door to being able to I don't know if I want to call it cheese. I mean, it's a strategy, man. You're using a strategy to produce an end result. And I don't know if I'd call Rasp Osmos cheese, because you're definitely putting your time in this game anyway. I mean, I don't know. It's a valid strat, but I prefer to not use it if I don't have to, just because it takes forever. Because you're usually using it on high-level bosses that have a lot of magic points. So, yeah. Anyway, I do learn Osmos. I don't remember if I learned Rasp, but either way, I don't recall any point where I do use Rasp. Well, there we go, getting wrecked. We were getting close there, too. I wasn't keeping track, but I saw Chupon out in the sky out there as he was flying. I saw him flying out there. He was making his way towards the ship. So, probably, one or two more battles after the round I was on, and I'd have been at the end of the Air Force. This can really be one of those spots that just tests a person's stick-to-itiveness, you know? I mean, and then other times it's like not even a big deal at all. Because sometimes you get it on your first try. Or, you know, it's like your first 2 or 3 tries. It's like no big deal. But then other times, all things considered, I would say, I got really lucky to not have Pterodai against the first Ultros fight. Not to win necessarily. Winning that fight isn't that difficult, even at low levels. I mean, you can kind of get bad luck and Bannon can get knocked down, and then you got to start over. But anybody else can fall, and Terra usually falls. So that was kind of unexpected, good fortune. And then I'm trying to think, you know, the spots that are kind of tough that could go either way. You know, I don't really. I did do the snowy peaks there up at Narshu where you fight Kefka. I did get that one on the first try. That's one that can easily be missed a couple of times. You have to dodge that rider. His name is Ryder. Because you can't run away and he'll give you experience. So you have to dodge the rider before you can interact with Kefka there. And that window there is awfully tight. You don't have any wiggle room there. It's just such a thin margin of error. And I got it on the first try. So that was a bit of good fortune. I usually get down there without very much trouble at all, but sometimes timing out that rider is, because it's just really easy to miss. Because I mean, it's just a really, really tiny window. Oh, dude, on the Veld. When we went through the Veld the first time, like, I got all my rages, like, in succession, like, boom, boom, boom. But, you know, looking back on that, I think that was because of Telstar, because I never got Telstar. And I also ran away from all encounters before I got to Moblitz. So, the game happened to cycle through just the right number of battles while I was running away from battles on the way to Moblitz for it to just happen to be in one that I needed when I got out of Moblitz. But in addition to that, because I think there are more monsters in, I don't know, because I didn't get Telstar, that changed some stuff. I'm confident that that was the primary reason. Because, it was way different than it normally is. And the only thing that was different, I mean, some of the gear, but that wouldn't make any difference. Well, now I just have to hope that they don't use a physical attack before I can banish myself. I need a little bit of good fortune here. Yeah. Dude. When it rains, it pours, right? So now, ironically, that's what we're hoping for. We're hoping for for them to use Tech Laser and Absolute Zero, because, you know, I'm immune. So it's just so crazy You know, it's just like baseball again, where it doesn't matter. I mean, it's more about when it happens and the timing of things than the actual thing that occurs. Um, because normally absolute zero is the end of us, but in that situation, absolute zero is one of the best things that could happen because we're still here now because of absolute zero. Or at least in part because of absolute zero. And, you know, how ironic is that? It's just... Timing is everything, man. Timing is everything. Oh, man. Well, now we're hoping back for magic again. Until we can get vanished. Maybe we'll get lucky. Oh, dude! Dude! No! Oh, man. See... This is so well designed. Look at that. I mean, if you look at what the attacks that they can do are, and the only things that you can do to get through this valley here, I mean, they give them an attack that doesn't do any damage, but it does inflict mute. And you have to vanish yourself. I mean, it's just... It's just an early stage Final Fantasy torture chamber. They throw one of these in at least one of them. And usually it's multiple. In all of their games, starting somewhere. I don't remember... I played through 5, but I don't remember there being anything all that bad in 5, but I only played through it one time, and I don't believe that I explored everything fully, but definitely the games after this. Like, for example, Ruby Weapon in 7, Emerald Weapon. I mean, even after you know how to beat those guys, they can really be a problem. Those are a little bit different battles than this. I mean, they're just not the same. We're doing totally different things here. But you could definitely classify Emerald Weapon or Ruby Weapon as a torture chamber, because if you don't know how strong you have to be in order to be able to be successful against either one of those guys, and you're like, okay, well, I'm really strong now, let me try it now, but you don't know what you're doing, you can just endlessly be ruined because you have no idea what you're doing. You're just, you know, trying to win as best you can, and you don't know what you're up against or what you're supposed to be doing to try and beat it. Sounds like a bit of a torture chamber to me. I always felt that Ruby weapon was not nearly as difficult as Emerald weapon, but I think it's easier to figure out how to beat Ruby weapon. I mean, you start fighting Ruby weapon and you're going to start coming up with ideas, you know. Let's try this, let's try that. And, you know, eventually, I think, you know, if you're the kind of person that is, you know, looking to take on that kind of a challenge in a game, you know, the thought of, hey, let's try this, and I think you're going to, you know, find yourself coming up with the solution there eventually. You know, it shouldn't take too long before you're like, let's try this. And then, oh, well, then that changes things a little bit. You can also use, if you know some of like the more in-depth stuff about the game, you can use the, I don't remember what they call it in that game. It's where basically if you get Sid's health to 7777, he starts unleashing in a like almost unending attack via his Dragoon business. There is a cap to the damage he'll do, but it's quite high. There aren't very many monsters that would survive it. But you can use that against Ruby weapon to make the fight a lot shorter or less stressful, I guess. Emerald weapon though, good luck, dude. You can know exactly what you're supposed to do, and I know there are things that you can do, you know, to make it, you know, you can cheese him. I guess I should say that there are ways to cheese Emerald if you do things just right. But generally speaking, if you're not, if you don't know how to beat him, or even if you do know how to beat him, you know how the algorithm works, you know what the rules of the battle are. You know what you're doing to hurt yourself, and what you know how everything works. You can still lose that battle. He can still do stuff that will basically end it for you. We got lucky there. They went first. And they used an attack that I was invincible to. So, luck +1 on this one so far. Emerald weapon can just ruin everything. It's just got the ability to do that, even if you know what you're doing and you're properly equipped and everything. It can still just end it real quick. So, in 7, I think Emerald weapon is definitely more difficult, but that's just my opinion. Ruby is tough, don't get me wrong. And, you know, both of them take a lot of grinding to be able to be at the spot where you can consistently feel like you can win that fight. There's some ways to cheese them, you know. There's some weird stuff you can do with, like, I think it's Yuffie and Vincent. That you can do some kind of weird stuff in that game. I don't know that game as well as I know this game. I know some stuff about that game. I've played it a few times. I beat Emerald and Ruby weapon. Not everybody's done that. But I'm not nearly as knowledgeable as I am about this one. I tried playing 8 and 9. I don't remember which one is which. I got a little ways into the 1. I was having a good time with it. I think it's probably a pretty good game. I just never got very far into it. The other one, I was like, man, what is going on here? Like, you're like in a school as a student or something to start the game, and I was just like, it seemed like they just had. It seemed like they were just walking around and doing a bunch of busy work that was pointless and had nothing to do with really anything remotely resembling Final Fantasy material. And I was like, I didn't give the game a fair chance. I think that was 8, but I don't remember which one is 8 and which one is 9. I do want to finish the one that I thought was promising that started off good. Oh man. Well, that's it. We get on a roll and then we don't make it. Um, 10. I still have stuff to do on 10. I had to put it down for a while because the grind was just a little bit... It had been going on for a while, and I had just tired of the grind, and I had to put it down for a little bit. That's just kind of how I am with something like that. It's not time sensitive. It can sit there forever. And what I was doing there was, I don't know. I have a save. I think I'm pretty confident that I do have a save. Before I killed Dark. I can never remember the name of that one. It's the first summon that you get in the play of the game. I think you get it at Besaid, wherever they're from. The one that flies, right? It's got like a energy beam or something that's like a laser that it has for a for its limit break. Anyway, the dark version of that Aeon. I think they call them Aeons in that game. Yeah, I think so. Dark Aeons. Yeah. I'm pretty sure I still kept a save from before I defeated the first one. So if I decided I wanted to go back and redo those guys, I could easily do so. I think I did that. I'll be really upset with myself if I'm misremembering and I didn't do that. Because I was trying to farm them for a weapon. I still haven't got it, and I've realized that probably the best guy to do the farm is the first guy, because he's probably the one that I can kill the fastest. And so if I'm going to farm those guys, he's probably the best guy to do it with. Because right now I'm at Shiva, and I had been farming her, but she takes a lot longer to kill than he did. So it's like Valfor, I think his name is, Dark Valfor. I don't know. And so when I got to that conclusion, I was like, well, I'm not doing that right now. Because I'd spent quite a bit of time. Man, we're starting to get into that territory now where this is some total BS. Like, I should have gotten this thing by now. I should have at least gotten to the Air Fortress at least once. I don't know how many attempts I've made at this, but I mean, we're stuck in a loop of garbage here. And I've tried moving my guys around. I've tried moving on the map. I've tried moving equipment around, formations around. I'm not really sure what else to do here to try and break out of this loop and get some good luck my way. But I mean, it's not supposed to take as long as it's taking. I know it can be a frustrating endeavor to try and get through this here. I mean, other times it's just really super easy and it's not even a problem at all. So there's just no consistency to how long it takes. But I will say that we should have got it. We should have, at minimum, been to the boss by now. And realistically, we probably should have. We should be done with this by now. It shouldn't have taken. It shouldn't be taking this long. I don't know how long I spent on it last night, but I would say probably at least a half an hour. And I'm over an hour and a half today, which means that we're in this thing 2 hours now of real time, even though game time hasn't moved an inch. Well, that's not true, because I did try and manipulate some numbers to see if I could get any positive change. And it did not prove to be useful, so I think, man, I think what I'm going to do here, if I don't get it on this turn, is I'm going to fly over by Culligan. I haven't been in that town yet. I can go in there and talk to somebody and make a save. Because, I mean, there's just opening with absolute zero now in the first round. Like, I think 3 times in a row now. So, like, we got to get out of this loop. Whatever this loop is, it's catastrophic for what I'm trying to do here. So, I'm going to fly over to Culligan. I'm going to walk into town. I'm going to talk to somebody. I'm going to save over there. I don't even know what the name of the town is. Is it Culligan? I don't know. Whatever this name of this town is, right here. That's got to do something for me, right? Because I've never been to that town yet. There's also a couple towns on the southern continent I haven't been in. Let's get some kind of, you know, something not part of this garbage cycle going here. Still opening a little. I'm gonna try this. Couldn't steal. Rip off. All right. Man, I'm just thinking, is it possible that there's anything I could be overlooking? And I don't think there's anything I can do to increase my speed entering the battle, or give me a higher starting rate, because we have Backguard and Gale Hairpin on the party. So, I mean, that helps in most spots, but in this situation, we're locked into these formations with these monsters, and we're always pincer attacked, and we can't get a preemptive attack. So that's pretty limiting as far as what we can do here. If there was anything like that I could manipulate, that would change the dynamics so much. But other than running shoes, I just don't think there's anything else I can do. I'm pretty sure wall ring does not work against Absolute Zero. And even if it did, I would just be trading Absolute Zero for Propeller, because, yeah, there we go. Because I wouldn't be able to, I wouldn't be able to vanish myself if I was wearing a wall ring, so I would have to take the physical attack. I don't think it works anyway. For whatever reason, that I suppose because it's Magitech, not magic, it's Magitech. I think you can runic it, except for you don't have Celis. Or yeah, you do have Celis. Yeah, you do. But you can't have her up because she'll get experience. So basically you're stuck. I do believe runic would work, but then, you know, like I say, it wouldn't make a difference. You can't have her. Gao has to eat all the experience here. That's the name of the game. Gao eats all the experience, and so that means he's the only one that's alive at the end of the battle, which means that he's the only one that's alive to start the battle. And bringing people in the middle of battle, I mean, I don't see it serving any purpose. I swear I just saw something glittering on the floor there. And if that turns out to be something that I've never noticed before, and it's like a thing, I'm gonna, you know, like something I can pick up or something, I'm gonna have my mind blown, man. I do have Rasp. Not that I would ever use it on somebody. On this walkthrough, anyway. I have used it. I definitely have used Rasp before. But... what am I doing here? Not for a very, very long time. So I have those, that cherub down on. I wonder if that's causing this stupid garbage loop. I never used that. I have him wearing something else. Probably a white cape. I'm going to change that. If I don't make it this time. And I want to go see what that flashing thing was. Maybe it was just a glitch in the Matrix. But I swear it looked like things in this game don't look like that. The closest thing I can think of would be like a save point. But it doesn't look like a save point. And obviously it's not a save point. I don't know what the heck it was. If it was anything. Maybe it was just a glitch in the Matrix. Let's see. If it's still there, maybe it's not even there anymore. Okay, I see. I see what it was. It was nothing. My eyes were just playing tricks on me. We got really, really fortunate there. The strat prevailed, but there's so much luck involved with this whole thing. And then they used Absolute Zero with their opening move, but I had already got, I got to go first and was able to mute them. So, I mean, okay, here we go. Next one up. You just have to do so many of these in a row without getting wrecked. And there's so many ways to get wrecked. But it shouldn't take this long. I feel like I'm getting kind of ripped off. Like, I wish I could make it so I could start, you know, start the battle with a preemptive attack, you know? That would be just, that would be the bee's knees, man. Alright, that's some good fortune there. I mean, on some level, it is just a matter of time. Eventually, you will get through it. Sometimes it takes longer, sometimes it takes less, but, I mean, The strategy works. You just have to keep applying it until you make it through. Oh, man. Wow, we got really lucky there. Really lucky. They got to go first. They used propeller, but my ATB gauge started way, I mean, it was like way at the very beginning. I don't know. Getting really lucky here. I don't know what round we're on right now. But I think we're in round number 4. We haven't gotten past round number 5 yet. We did get to round number 5 last night. That's the best so far. And we just need to hope that we are able to get good fortune up until the save point, at least. Once we reach a save point, then, you know. So I'm pretty sure this is where we got last night. I think this is round number 5 here. Oh, we're getting lucky here. Boy, we're getting some luck on our side. Again, they go first. Again, it's propeller. So I'm pretty sure this is round number 5, and this will be the first time we've advanced past round number 5. Let's hope that this good fortune can keep rolling in our favor, and that we can just get through this and make our way to that save point, mix save. There he is down there. I just saw Chupon down there. Oh, we got really lucky there. My ATV gauge started close to halfway full. So, oh man, just look at that, dude. Just unloading immediately after our Hope song. I mean, it's so close there. I mean, one frame, I think. Awfully close to one frame. And the worst part about it, I think there's one more fight yet before I'm done with these guys. I think there's one more to go. And so what is this, round number 7? Is there 8 of them? It's just brutal. Just brutal. I hope I can get through this. I really do think there's one more left before they get up here. Nope. Sweet. All right. Well, maybe. Okay. Well. Okay. No, dude. I don't think I can get it now. Dude, and I missed again. What the? It's just unbelievable, dude. Just so, just. And it's all my fault. It's all my fault. 100% my fault. I just failed. Well, it looks like I need to practice my Joker Doom. And I thought I was good there. It felt right. I missed. I didn't even lock the first line. So I mean, I don't know how I can be early there. That looked like the perfect setup. I don't remember if I was on the if I was on the feet of the chocobo. I don't remember, but I don't want to keep doing this right now. Maybe I'll come back later, but I don't want to do this right now. So I'm gonna end this for now. And I'll pick it up later. I mean, that just... I mean, it's one... Now, the thing is, though, next time... He didn't even use Atomic Ray one time. So, next time, he'll just use Atomic Ray. And I won't even get the opportunity to try and not screw it up. So, it's just... I just feel so... betrayed is the feeling. But I can't blame anybody but myself, so I guess that's that.